All right, everyone. Hello. Hello. We are live. Merry Christmas. If you celebrate it, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, all the happy holidays for everybody who celebrated and for those who don't. Hope it was just a good, chill time. And now we're in what I and I guess a lot of people have been referring to as like the purgatory sort of limbo period right now of the year, where it's after the holidays and it's before the new year. So everybody's just kind of like in this weird spot of like, should I be productive or is it too soon? Or, like it's a little weird. But today we're choosing to be productive. For us, it's basically January 1st, just I cannot believe that we're almost in 2025. I think a lot's happened this year. So in a way, I'm kind of content for it to end, but it's like, in a way, it doesn't, I don't know. It's cute that we have like a reset, even though technically nothing like resets other than like a number. Anyway, that's too much. Oh, smack the mic. Hopefully that didn't pick up too bad. Speaking of mic, if you've been here before, you might notice something a little new. I'm not going to talk too much about it. Also, the webcam is new. It's not as laggy. Basically, we got an equipment update for this Christmas, courtesy of my husband and my brother, who got me my new keyboard, which I'll probably show off a couple of times, to be honest. But it sounds really good, and it's going to be really nice for the stream. So, last work stream, we finished Percy's route. The only thing left on it is the actual synopsis itself, so I'm going to work on that before I move on to the next route, whatever that will be. I guess Styles feels the most right, but we'll get to that when I get to him. Basically, in a way, he doesn't need as much work as the other guys, but in a way, he still needs a lot of work done. And I'll be more specific when we move over. After you hear a ghost in your dreams, you wake to Percy, followed closely by a letter sent to him. That's my dryer. Sorry about that, guys. Sent to him asking for help. Rude. After him asking for help after his cult's chain of command has gone poorly. I don't know if that's not worded correctly. Chain of command has. I'm a writer. I swear. I got it. Maybe after Stellus, the man he left and he put in charge has been doing less. I'll probably reword this for the actual game when it's inputted, but I still want to have a synopsis for each route so that if I smack this mic one more time, I just talk with my hands, guys. Doing less than savory deeds. Actually, I need to be more specific. Sometimes I always worry in synopsises, and I think this is why I'm bad at them, is I worry that I'm going to spoil something, but in a way you kind of have to spoil at least some of the interesting stuff, so then that will get people to actually read it in the first place. So you're going to have to be put in charge. Has been hewn, or rather, Nephilim trafficking. His good name. Be tarnished? You and your that sounds pretty okay. After you hear a ghost in your dreams, you wake to Percy, followed closely by a letter sent to him asking for help after Stellus, the man he put in charge, has been human, or rather, Nephilim trafficking. Percy will not stand to let his good name be tarnished by someone else. It's up to you and your little party to put a stop to Stellus and his deeds. whilst figuring out why you're being haunted in the first place. Yeah, I'll work on that synopsis, but at least if I have something to work off of, I can just kind of pick and choose and move around until I'm like really, really happy with it. And that is it. One done Rectifier and Bloom script. So now you get to take a peek behind the curtain, see all the other stuff that I'm working on. Ooh, pause if you want to see. But if you care. So now styles is I'll bring up. Okay, so a lot of these were modeled after, now our director of Rectifier, Alex, he's in charge directly for Styles' route, and that's the only route that he's solely responsible for. So when he formatted his script, it's very detailed, and basically I based the Percy script and the rest of these scripts off of his, with some like clear differences, mainly that it is in specifically Ren'Py format for the most part, so it'll be easy for our programmer to put in. Some things are the same, like you'll see, but some things are a little bit different. I've already started working on putting it in Ren'Py format, but this is normally how it looks. So like close, but it's not quite there. So a lot of things have to be kind of adjusted. Now, I do want to do Styles' first because his is so long, and once his is done, that means that every other route will just kind of be easy breezy, beautiful cover girl, you know? So let's work on that. And I hope wherever you are that you're busy doing whatever you're doing, you know, do some dishes, don't vacuum. I always say vacuum. It's like you can't watch my streams while you vacuum. I mean, I guess you can, but you're not really going to get much out of it. Anyway, stupid. I think I said it in a video a while ago, and I kind of just kept saying it for no reason. Okay, possibly these all need to be highlighted pink, because that's... I need to make a key as well of like all the sprite related stuff needs to be in, or all the directorial stuff needs to be pink. All the sprite... You know, maybe I should make the key first, actually. Let me do that, because I don't want to work on the other ones and then end up accidentally using another format. I do not need the title. Need this. Also, I hope this is royalty free. I look up royalty free music on YouTube and I just pray that it's correct, because if it's not, then I'm gonna have to take the VOD down off of YouTube. Which, for the work streams, I'm not too worried about, because like I said, I don't think they have much replayability. It's more of a, if you're here to enjoy it. If you're not, that's unfortunate, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. So, key. Sprites will be yellow. Hopefully this will be helpful. Directions, extra notes to consider will be pink. Wish I could make everything pink. Background images will be green, and then the music is blue. This kind of, and sound effects. This kind of reminds me of, I don't know if this is a thing in other countries, but in the US, you usually have like different folders for like specific school subjects. For instance, like you have like red math, and then you have like green science, you know, things like that. Like it didn't have to be that, like you could make it any color that you wanted to, but there was like this whole debate on TikTok and online where people had different ways of labeling what is science, what is math, etc., etc. And like there's like a consensus that like, oh yeah, math is red, but then for English everybody's like, no, that's blue, or no, that's yellow, or no, that's something else, you know, so on and so forth. So if you feel that way about my key and how I label specific aspects of the script, I'm sorry in advance, but it helps. It makes sense to me. I need to take these and copy and paste it over. Alright, the key's pretty simple unless I forgot something, but that should help. And then Let me find the first choice so I can put this. Yeah, it's right here. And then the first one is Silence the Moans. And this must be so funny for somebody who has no idea anything about Rectifier and Bloom. Pick an appropriate tune. An appropriate, I can spell, appropriate tune. And play something cheerful. And then this is Silence the Moans, which we could just... I do like the dash. I probably should have done that before, but... I mean, F11 might actually be good for this. No, I need to access my tabs. I'll stop being indecisive now, I promise. And then this should be when red, when green, when blue. I like that chill music almost equals like lullaby music. Not that I'm totally against lullaby music or anything, just I'm susceptible to being eepy. Susceptible to being a sleepy little gal. Okay, so now we can go back up in format. So, I don't think, okay, so child, this is just description. I think this is all just description, okay. So this is a sound, so this needs to be, I already forgot my key. Blue, the key's actually for me all along. And then background is good, even though I think I just specify background here. I probably should have put these in brackets or whatever, but I'll just change the green because we like pastels here. This is directorial. Well, this is like Sprite in the directorial. And this is music, so it needs to be blue. Then our steps, yep. We're in quotes here. Not smart quotes, though. Okay, doctor, can't you see? That's not a song that exists in the world. Again, don't need this. Maybe I should do that. Yeah, that might have worked better. 1 second, leave that. Put the non-smart quotes over the smart quotes. That should work. Style stands. All intact. Yep. Remove woman. Okay. New Year, still same earbuds. I made a speech about how I was needing to get new earbuds because I'm constantly fixing on this side, and guess who didn't do that yet? In a way, I do like them, but in a way, they bother me, so. This is giving Wii music. Like, not in a bad way. Some of these sections are pretty easy to redo. I might have to replace a lot of these, like, sounds and stuff, but that is what we're doing today. That is not applicable. We're just reformatting right now. And then a lot of the rewriting and stuff will kind of be done off script, because obviously I don't want to spoil anything. And, it might be kind of a big overhaul thing, but I figured it would be easier to re-script everything and then just get the format down, so then when we plug in whatever's new or add anything, it'll be a lot easier to do so. because this is the brunt of it anyway. I don't plan on changing a lot of stuff. Okay, so pink, and then Lior Sad is yellow. My two favorite colors. Don't want... Okay, this is italic, so it needs to be... There we go. That should work. Indent that a little bit. Keep. I have to remember too that these don't necessarily need to be perfect, they just need to be functional. So for instance, like some of the, like on Percy's for instance, a lot of the text is blue, whereas Styles is black and variations of different colors. And like I could technically format those and make them all the same, but I think our programmer will understand, like they need the instructions, not necessarily like everything to matchy match. So hopefully it won't be too big of a deal, and if you're watching this later, programmer, for whatever reason, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hell, I might do it in the future, who knows. Okay, these need to all be yellow. And it was all yellow. What's today? Monday? No, today's Saturday. What am I? Huh? Hi, Joy. Hi, Joy. Peanuts said to me. Hi, Peanuts. Jeez. Can you tell I've been out of streaming for like not that long? I'm already out of practice. If I don't stick with it, everything just becomes a disaster. So, we're just re-scripting today. What are you doing? Are you still relaxing on your break? Did you have a good holiday? Were there any nice gifts you got? Because I got a new webcam. Maybe you can tell, maybe you can't. But the last one was very laggy. This one is not. And I got a new mic, which you can see here, and I'm going to try not to touch because I've already bumped it like 3 times. And I got a new keyboard, which you'll be able to hear. Maybe not so much this stream, because I feel like I'm not doing a lot of typing, but it's very, in my brother's words, creamy. He specifically did a lot of research to make sure that I got one that sounded good, you know? My old keyboard sounded pretty okay, like some people didn't really mind it, but it would like clack really loud, especially when you hit the spacebar, it would like thump. And now this is what the spacebar sounds like. It's a lot nicer. Joy entering her pro streamer era, I know. Well, I mean, I don't want to say it, but in a way, it's just like, I am trying to aim for partner in 2025. Like, we'll see. But everybody's been just very supportive of it, which is I appreciate a lot. It makes you a little nervous. Like, I feel like I can't kind of fail now, but I'm just gonna have fun with it, because that's the only thing I really know how to do. And it's the only way to ensure that things actually go well. So, what else was I gonna say in regards to that? But yeah, I mean, that's the goal, but I'm not gonna stress myself out too much about it. You know, if it happens, it happens. I'm just gonna put my best foot forward. But what's really gonna change come the new year, because I was talking about like the new year earlier, was I'm probably going to focus a lot more on, what's the word? Probably gonna focus on, I don't know what to do with these sections, so I feel like I need to do that. I'm going to focus on playing more mainstream dating sims and visual novels, specifically dating sims, because that's what I enjoy. I used to be really into those mobile otome dating sims as a kid, like the ones that you would... I think everybody who's in the, like, knows what I'm talking about. They're like these super long otome games that had like 10 plus characters each, and they're made by, like, I don't know if they're big companies or anything, but they were definitely like, yeah, the Shall We Date games. That's exactly what I was talking about. I never played Voltage games, but I was familiar that they existed, but Shall We Date always spoke to me, mainly because they focused on, because I love the ninja games specifically. Like, Ninja Love was my favorite otome of all time, still is to this day. I wish they didn't discontinue it. It only exists in my memory and my heart. So good. That's what Rectifier is very based off of, believe it or not. Um, Mainly like the actual like format of how the game works, I guess. Like the traveling with one guy, but then all the other guys are still really relevant for some reason, and they have like their own little relationships and stuff. I found that really endearing when I was younger. So I tried to implement that specific part of it. I mean, I don't know, even the last time I played it, I must have been like in high school, but I remember really enjoying it even then. I live on a main road, I'm so sorry. Some people are really loud. But I really remember thinking it was like bomb even then. So like, and that I guess that's the biggest problem is like I wish I could replay it currently and know if it's as good as I remember it being or if it was just pure nostalgia. I guess we'll never know. But that's why I was feeling, I don't know how AAA Otome games specifically operate because I really haven't played many, if at all. I think the only one I have is Hakuoki a little bit, but I didn't even finish one route, so it was like I have very limited experience with mainstream Otome, and I want to change that. I want to see if it helps me with my own making of games. I want to see if it's just disastrous. I want to see what all the hype is about. And also, it helps that people seem to be more interested in that. It's more mainstream, that kind of thing. So maybe it'll bring more people to the stream. I don't know. But that's been my goal for a while. And come, I don't want to say specifically January 1st, but like sometime in the first week of January, I would love to start playing those games because I have like Amnesia, I have Bustafellows, I have Hakuoki. I'm starting with Hakuoki because like that's where I started, so I gotta finish what I started, and that game's fucking long, so I think it will like train me for the other games. Like every other game will not seem that big in comparison, that kind of thing, and then do them on stream. I think it'll be fun. I'm hoping it is. Worst comes to worst, I lose really nothing except just experience something. I also feel I can be a lot more honest about my enjoyment of the games if they're bigger games. You can't really be mean to, indie games and things like that, And I always worry that if I played an indie game and really didn't like it, then I'd have to like kind of fake it, so to speak, and I really don't want to be put in that position. Luckily, I haven't really played an indie game. I don't think I ever have here on stream where I just genuinely didn't enjoy it in some way, but, it's bound to happen eventually, right? And I just don't want to be the person who's like, you get what I'm saying. But, that's my own anxiety speaking. But with bigger games, I don't have to worry about that. No one's really getting hurt, and even if they did, they can wipe their tears with their money, I guess. That kind of idea. But, I mean, I had a thought process there. I just wanted to finish that. I don't think they'd be that different from like the mobile ones, right? Because I feel like some of those companies they kind of operate similarly. Like obviously one is trying to get like transactional. Even though I would say that the Shall We Date games specifically, because those are the only ones I had a lot of experience with, is they weren't really that predatory in terms of like it wasn't like a gacha game sort of deal where like you could pay like $2 for an entire route, and that was like a good at least 3 hours of content or something. You know what I mean? Like it was like equivalent to what you paid for it, and then you could pay for all the routes at once, and then you could keep them forever, well, until they discontinued the game, but at the time you could keep them and replay them as many times as you wanted without ads, or because if you played them for free, I'm kind of just explaining for people who don't know, if you played them for free, you'd have like a certain amount of energy a day that you could dedicate to it, which is like you'd need, I don't know, 3 sushi rolls in order to progress like one chapter. It was like you got to read a couple paragraphs and then it would stop you. If anything, I feel like that's kind of the anti-predatory, it's like it was looking out for kids and being like, okay, don't get too much screen time, but like incentivize them to come back and play games and stuff. I don't know. I don't think it was that bad. I'm kind of glad that it's an outdated thing, and even as a kid I was like, fuck this, I'm just gonna pay for it. But I thought that was good, and I paid for not just Ninja Love, but like My Sweet Prince. There was a couple that I had at one point, but they're all on this old tablet. Not an iPad, a tablet, and like Android tablet. And if you know anything about Android tablets, they do not last very long at all. And I had one that like I lost or gave to somebody, or it died, or I don't know, something happened to it. And I had all my shit on there. And had I had like an iPhone or something, I think it would have been a different story and I could have kept it for much longer, but shoulda, coulda, you know? I love those games so much. I even wanted to do a YouTube series, and maybe this is like, I don't know, divine interference or something, but I wanted to do a YouTube series like reviewing them because I had never seen really anybody do that. And by the time that I like sat down to really start doing it, the games like got discontinued, so I never really got to get far into that whatsoever. Which could be a blessing in disguise, but you know, it's kind of a shame because I think that, you know, there might have been some value in that, you know, and I was specifically going to review like route by route and not just, you know, but maybe I can just do that with bigger Otome games anyway. You know, there's a bigger audience for that. They're not children, so, you know, I think all that might be more beneficial than what I planned to do originally. I kind of just fell into game dev and stuff. It wasn't really anything I had planned because I had wanted to do so many different things, and making a game was one of them, but like it was mainly just for myself. I was really hard pressed in just making a game for me and maybe my family to enjoy, but like I never expected to actually be a game dev and try to sell games to people or anything like that. But turns out I kind of have a knack for it and I really enjoy it, so. I think 2025 will be, I'm trying to remember, technically Meant to Be Studios was released like publicly on Twitter back in, you can see my brain working overtime right now. It was released in like late 2022, 2021 maybe? No. Well, the game came out in 2023, so so yeah, it technically started in 2023. So we're almost 2 years in as a studio, which is really nice. And then doesn't really feel like that amount of time already. Woot! Woot indeed. I'm glad that you have been a part of it in like a significant way, you know. So woot to you. If I sound a little sleepy, by the way, I am, like a little bit, but like a good sleepy, not like, oh my god, I'm exhausted, get me out of here. Just, you know, if I close my eyes for too long like a dad, I'd probably just slip into an endless sleep. But I wanted to be productive today. I wanted to go back to streaming, you know, because I didn't want to just be like, okay, I'm going to stream start January 1st. Like, you got to get on your Zoom. You got to do your stuff. I need to do some research and seeing if I can stream on YouTube. Not TikTok, because TikTok's about to get shut down, but whatever TikTok becomes or wherever people move, you know, maybe that's where I'll go. Hello, my name is Debbie. Hey, how's it going, everyone? It's going good. How are you? We're just being a little productive, sort of. I'm kind of doing a lot of yapping, but that's really what these streams are. It's half productive, half chat your ear off, you know? I like to think that it gives people company when they're doing their own work, but maybe maybe it's white noise, like they're not actually listening to anything I say, but they're able to be productive, and you know what? That's still worth it to me. Some of the shit that I say isn't even, like, important. Like, kind of just do it for, like, to give myself an outlet. So, if it helps people, so be it. Now for my actual, like, streaming gameplays, I would like people to pay attention for the game's sake, but like, if it's just me, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Well, I'm just glad I finally got to join a stream, to be honest. That's so sweet. I'm glad that you could be here. Now, I can't guarantee that all the streams will be like this one. I'm still kind of experimenting and seeing which streams I like to do. But we were just talking about how I'm planning on playing more mainstream Otome games via like Bust of Fellows, Amnesia, Hakuoki, which is the one I plan on starting, and seeing if that's something I really vibe with, because I make visual novels, but I don't really play them, and if I do, they're like indies, they're not mainstream big ones. This is Gemini, by the way. Oh, hello, Gemini! That's so good. I'm glad you introduced yourself. OMG, yes, I need to play more mainstream titles, too. I'm like, I don't consider myself like a I consider myself a queer dev, so like the games that I make are queer, but I do make heterosexual content. Like I do make otome games from time to time. It's just not like my focus. So I don't know like anything really about like a specific niche of visual novels. The only otome games that I played were the mobile ones that Pinax and I were talking about earlier, and I love them to death. Love them so much. Yeah, Amare. Bless the Amare tag. Yeah, I guess that's probably where I fall, but I like, not to be pretentious, but I think I fall. I'm like, no, I'm a a romance dev. Okay, I write all romance the same, and like in a sense, I do. I don't really treat them differently, but to be fair, if it's romance, I'll really just play anything. I'm not picky. Like, it doesn't matter who it's between. But specifically, otome is always fascinating to me because it has like such a, I don't want to say cult following, but it has like a very dedicated audience base that I've never really been a part of outside of just like the mobile ones when I was a child, and I really like them. But I don't know if they're like a different breed of otome or they're like the same thing in a different font. So that's kind of, I'm planning on being like non-otome fan plays otome games. You know, it's a little clickbaity, not too much. It's kind of true, but it's also like, let's be real, girl. But anyway. Ooh, which mobile ones? Ninja Love. Ninja Love was my absolute favorite. I loved Destiny Ninja. I loved My Sweet Prince. It was mainly Shall We Date specific games. I didn't play any Voltage games. I know this is gonna sound bad, but like, I think there was something about, what I didn't like about Voltage games was it like, same white boy copied and pasted. Like in the nicest way. I just felt like they all kind of looked the same to me. Whereas like, Shall We Date games had different artists on every game, so the art styles were just a lot more appealing, and I prefer kind of weirder, out there art styles. Like, if this gives any kind of insight, like One Piece is one of my favorite art styles in like a show, and most of my crushes come from One Piece, so like I kind of have a weird attachment to like kind of weird looking babes, but if it's like generic anime face dude number 301, I just really don't care. But apparently a lot of Voltage games and even Shall We Date games are still available, so maybe that's something I'll also maybe gravitate towards at some point, but like, girls not got money for that right now. I got gifted a lot of mainstream otome games from a friend not too long ago. Ooh, I forgot Voltage. Yep, them too. I came from the school of Play Choices episode chapters. I did play some episode and stuff as a kid. And I mainly just love those YouTube videos of people playing episode. Like via like Curtis Connor or Dana Gonzalez, like commentary YouTubers and stuff. Those are always, or Jenna Marbles was the best one. As was everything she ever did. One Piece does look nice. Haven't watched or read, but I love the screen grabs. I adore One Piece. Granted, it's a huge commitment, so I can't just be like, oh, go watch it, it's great, you know? Also, nobody really listens to the, oh, you should watch this thing. It's like, just, but I like it. I think it's really good. And I don't regret watching almost like, what episode am I on? I feel like I'm close to 1,000 now, if not almost there. I just got to Wano, which was like, at one point, the most recent arc, or whatever. I used to be a huge anime watcher, but I don't really watch anime that much anymore. And if I do, it's gotta be like a shonen of some sort, because those are the only ones I really gel with. No, and the reason for that being, like, I'm a romance reader, but I really don't think anime romance is very good. No shame to people who enjoy it, obviously. Like, there was a time in my life where I also enjoyed it, but I think in this time in my life, it's too focused on, like, high school romance and things like that, and that just has no real appeal to me, unfortunately. So I just stick to, you know, the fun action shows instead. I don't behave like one. Also, if you're curious to what I'm actually doing on stream, I'm reformatting my dating sim that I made earlier this year. Basically, we're going to be updating it and putting it in Ren'Py instead of RPG Maker for several reasons. But I'm reformatting it for my programmer that I will be hiring so they can put it in Ren'Py easy peasy. And also doing some rewrites, you know, adding some scenes, things like that, adding a lot of stuff to it and just polishing it up, because I would love to move it to Steam later this year. That's the hope. We can only pray. And we're on the second route of 7. Yes, there's 7 routes in this fucking game. But we're making it. We're doing progress. Each one is like, this one is 20,000 words, but most of them are about 10k, maybe a little over 10k. Nephilim do no harm. You got this. Indeed. I mean, there's not really a deadline in mind. I just figured if I just keep going, eventually it'll get done. And I figured streaming was the best way to do that. Oh, this is no. Should I put variation? I might actually leave a comment here. No, I think they got it. They got it. As someone working on a game of 5 routes, I feel you. What is it with like people starting? Now, this isn't my first game, but it's funny that most people start like by making the biggest game imaginable. Now, I will say, no shame to people who do that. I actually think it's perfectly fine. Granted, will it cause a lot of like struggle? Yes. But there's nothing wrong with trying to throw yourself in like the deep end to start with, because it's like all parts of game dev are hard. You know what I mean? Like even if you make a small thing first, it's gonna be hard. So you might as well just do it. Dude, why do we do that though? Pain. We like to suffer. I mean, to create art is to like just hurt yourself. That sounds so negative. I don't mean it like that. It's just that, you know, it's like exercise, I think. Scoping ambition is real. Yeah. I think what it is like, it's like going to the gym, you know, like you want to start out with the biggest thing first. And it's like, technically you could do that and see how much you're capable of doing, but you're probably better off just starting with some small weights and working yourself up and actually gaining real muscle so that you can do that without hurting yourself, you know? So it's like, I feel like a lot of us like pick up the big weight and then we hurt ourselves, but then we keep going and now we have the scars to show for it, and it kind of keeps us from, you know, making those mistakes in the future. And then I just weird not allegory, I guess it's allegorical, but like analogy I could come up with. I think there's something romantic about going big and not going home and crying the whole time. Oh wait, that's just oh yeah, no, I'm big on go big and go home. I'm always going big. Everything I make is big. And I also have this thing where like I refuse to work on the next thing unless one thing is finished. And for a while I couldn't work on 2 things at the same time. Things have changed. But when I started out, basically my focus, it was hard for me to do 2 things at once. Specifically like writing. But now that I kind of get paid to write and I have to do my own writing, it's become a little bit easier because you kind of put yourself in 2 minds while you do that. So I kind of had no choice but to learn. I'm here. Okay. Just making sure I don't lose my place. But no, I think there was a thread a while ago that people were like, do not make the biggest game first, you know, and basically like discouraging people from even starting big. And like, I understand what their sentiments mean behind that, but I feel like it does a disservice to people just making what they want to make. You know, there's no real rule for like creating, and trying to pretend like there is, I think, can be harmful for people who are just starting out. Because ultimately, I think what's more important is like, yeah, make the big game if it's the thing you can't stop thinking about. Give yourself the chance to start as soon as possible and to learn as much as possible. But obviously, like, you know, be prepared for some heartbreak and failure and stuff like that. But I mean, I think in any way, it's probably going to teach you a lot quicker than if you were just doing little game. That's my personal opinion on that, though. Basically, it's just like, I never like it when people are like, there's only one way to do any creative thing, because clearly there isn't, and I'm proof of that. Everybody's different, and for me, I like to learn the hard way, so just let me. The thing is, a lot of game development advice is well-meaning, but I also wish it was framed more as a, use this advice if it speaks to you, or you think it will help you. Do not do this if you're about, yeah, exactly. Like, take what resonates, leave the rest. And I think when you're newer, it's harder for you to kind of sift through that and try to figure what works and what doesn't. This has been a theme for every, weirdly enough, for every work stream I've done, as we've been talking about writing advice, because I used to be so big on watching everything writing advice. Like, I could not, and I watched so much of it and consumed so much of it that it was like paralyzing, to the point where I wasn't creating because I was like, I have to do it all these specific ways. I have to, put every single rule that I've ever learned in this, otherwise I'm doing it wrong. And it really just like stifled my creativity and kind of snuffed my flame before I even ever started. And it's like, of course advice is good and it's good to use it if it works, but the unfortunate part is that creating for everybody looks very different. Like, everybody's creative processes are so particular to themselves, and it should be that way. But basically, my husband at one point was just like, my now husband, at the time we just started dating, but he was like, you watch those videos like a lot. And I was like, yeah, I'm trying to learn. And he's like, well, you're not really doing much writing though. Like, he said it nicer than that, but basically he's just like, well, you're not really getting writing done. And I was like, yeah, you're right. And then after I stopped watching them, I was a lot more inclined to actually, do the thing. And I did, and I finished, and I've been finishing works kind of ever since. And then recently, because I finished a lot, and now I don't really struggle with that as much, I went back and watched a bunch of writing advice videos, and there's kind of a lot of bad writing advice out there. Like, clearly, obviously, it could be bad advice from my perspective. Like, it's just not good, because I know what works for me. But, I think some is just kind of objectively bad advice, just stuff that this is so particular, or some of it isn't even advice, which is my personal favorite when people do writing advice that it's just not advice at all. But and of course the indie dev space has stuff like that. Every space is going to have people who give unsolicited advice and claim it as gospel, which is a little unfortunate, because it's I do want to do some sort of giving advice to people who haven't made games, because I feel like I've learned so much, and clearly I'm going to be learning a lot more, but I feel like I want to pass down that knowledge to people who really struggle in a way that is digestible but is not gospel, and make that clear. It's but I don't know, it's okay. I just remember responding to a thread about that on Twitter, I don't know, last year or something, of people being like, don't make big games, don't make big games. And a lot of people agreed, which is fair. I'm sure for them, it's a nightmare to do, but to only claim that making demos and small games is somehow better is just not true, in my opinion. Because that comes with its own set of problems, where you don't really finish anything because you can just make demos over and over and over again. And it's demos have their place, but they're mainly just marketing tools. So, if you're making demos, then it needs to, have something to show for it in time, obviously. And it should just be a way to give people a bite of what they can expect. And now a lot of people don't even play demos because they've been burned too many times from, people who make them and then never pick them back up. So it comes with its own set of problems, so on and so forth. And that's not to say that you can't make demos and that you shouldn't. I mean, if it fits what you're trying to do, then do it, but understand what that really means, so on and so forth. This year I'm trying something different that I've never done. Usually I create a game, even if it's huge, and I try to finish it, or at least finish a big chunk of it and put it out there. And this year I'm planning on doing a chapter by chapter release for a big game. So releasing the first chapter for it for a game jam, and then picking up the other chapters as I go throughout the year. I don't know how well that will work for my specific way of working, but I want to see if I can do it, because I want to make the game, but I can't make all of the chapters in a timely fashion. So it's plus I've seen other devs do the chapter format really well, i.e. specifically Carrot, who did the ARC format for our Wonderland, which I really admire and is one of my favorite games. So I was like, let me see if I can do that. Ooh, that's my love-hate relationship with game jams from a participation standpoint, because of the demos. Yeah. Yeah, I love giving people a taste of what I'm working on, but I also fear that something would happen before I get to the finish line. Exactly. For me, and this is my own thing, again, this might not be true for everybody, obviously. I wouldn't even say it's true for most people, but I think some people put out demos and they kind of just pump them out so they can hit these jam deadlines, and then the jam gets a decent amount of attention, and so people hook onto it, and they only update the demos that perform well, and then the rest of them they kind of just leave in the dust. So if it didn't hit a specific number point value to them or something, like not enough downloads or attention on it, they're like, oh, well, we can kind of just leave that, we don't need to make it, which I guess could be a smart way of doing it. I just feel like it's kind of counterintuitive to just being an indie where it's like the point is to make games that you want to make, I think, you know, and it's like you should finish them even if nobody fucking plays them. But that's my own specific interpretation and based off of something that I've seen. But, you know, of course, some people are, there's going to be some bad eggs, that kind of thing. RIP to me getting attached to the demos that don't perform well. Hey, you're speaking my language, because I have a game that I made in 3 months. It's one of my biggest games. It's an RPG that I made single-handedly last year. Or, yes, this time last year. I released it on December 31st, 2023. And it is my worst performing game. But it's the one that I put like the most heart and soul into. But I still really care about that game, and it's getting a voice acting update sometime next year. So like, even though it hurts me that it didn't reflect like what I thought it was worth, that kind of thing, it doesn't mean that it's still not worth putting time and stuff into, you know? And then I had a game that I made in like a month that performed better than all my other games that took me way longer. So, you know, there's no real rhyme or reason. And I try not to be upset about that because, I mean, you know, it's better that any of my games perform well. It doesn't really matter, you know. But I understand and sympathize with people who are like, oh no, you know, I did so much for this game and nobody really cares about it. But hey, you know, different strokes, different folks, that whole thing. And I'm just trying to learn if like my strokes, that's a weird way of putting that. Okay, sorry. Let me try to say what I'm saying in the least weird way possible. Is I want what I like to, you know, intersect with what other people like and then try to do both at once. That way I'm not really sacrificing too much in the grand scheme of things. Try to marry the two. The way I would make a game just to put my favorite OCs in a situation like I did with my Barbies when I was a kid. That is a valid reason. I mean, basically that's what Rectifier is. You know, they're my babies. I'm telling you, I could make a DLC of them staring at paint drying and it would be fun for me. Like, that's just how special they are. And I think that's, you gotta kind of go in with the right reasons. I think it's just difficult because like I'm getting to the point now where I'm able to sell games and be able to make money off of them, and of course I want to eat, so I want my games to perform well, that kind of thing. So you have to kind of find a balance of having fun with it but also making stuff that resonates with people and does well and sells well. And I'm just not really there yet. I kind of have to learn and see what works and what doesn't, and that's going to be most of my 2025 journey because I'm doing my first commercial game, which is this one that we're working on, so it's very relevant. Okay, but mood. Exactly. I also have a Barbie collection, so that resonates even with me a lot more, and I have like a whole notebook of giving them names and things like that because it's special to me. I want to make like all my Barbies, because I collect specifically the fashionista ones. I want to make them all, this is the wrong thing. I want to make them all like actual characters in something eventually because they're just so beautiful, but OMG, that's exciting. Good luck with the commercial endeavors. Thank you. I need to get a water. You know what? I'm just going to step away for 1 second. Everybody get a water. Okay, I'm back. I meant to get one before stream. I knew I was missing something. I spent like even almost 2 hours like prepping beforehand, especially today because I have new equipment. But that's probably loud. I'm so sorry. I won't say never, but I like making my free little games. That's what I did for forever. All my games are currently free and they're huge. Like I take donations and stuff for them, at least for the last 2. And that's kind of done really well for me, and I've been very thankful for that. And if commercial scares you, I would just recommend doing that because it's a little less like guilt, I think. Because it's not like you've asked anybody for it. You know, Itch did, but kind of. Well, you need to hydrate command for the chat to use. Yeah, exactly. See, I don't even take donations. Yeah, I didn't for the longest time. My first 3 games don't have any donations on them because I just didn't feel right doing it because I worked in teams. But as time kind of went on, I put more money into my stuff and things like that. So I was like, oh, I could take a couple of donations. That's not going to hurt anything. So it's been like a gradual step-by-step process. And it's okay if you never strive to make commercial games or anything. You're not lesser of a dev or anything for that, in my opinion. But otherwise, if I start trying to make money off of it, I will lose my drive. Yeah, exactly. I used to tell my friends about this scientific experiment. This is a real thing of like kids who would make a lot of like finger paintings, and they would make them for the adults and they would hand them to them, and then at some point they would just make like a lot of them, like over and over and over again, and then eventually the adults would start giving them $1 for each finger painting that they would finish, and they started producing a lot less. Like most of them were like, I'm not really into it, because when you tie monetary gain to your art, sometimes it takes a lot of the joy and stuff out of it. And that's true for me, absolutely. I 100% resonate with that. I was lucky enough to do a couple writing jobs this year, and I'm not going to say they were miserable, because that's kind of mean, but they're not nearly as fun or fulfilling for me as just making my own free games. It's just not the same. But I think when I put them into bubbles in my head of going, well, this is for me, and then this is for money, like, and then this also is money that I can dedicate to the stuff that I actually want to work on, so on, and it became a lot easier to do, doesn't mean I didn't put my heart and soul into my work or anything like that. It just obviously will never hit the same high, so to speak, as my own writing. And I think that's perfectly normal and natural. I think if you were to ask an artist when they do commissions, I think it's pretty similar, where it's like, obviously they don't care about that art as much as they care about the art that they make for themselves. Correct me if I'm wrong, Pinax, I'm not an artist, or at least not a like one that makes money off of it. So, and yes, there's a scientific explanation, which feels gratifying, because it's like I'm not a weirdo. I'm not a complete weirdo. Big mood. This is why I keep art as a hobby and do something else for money. And I think that's the way to do it. You kind of have to have your cake and eat it too in that regard, because there's no way I could just write for money, and there's no way that I could only just, well, I mean, it's more likely for me just to do it for myself than it is the other, but I want to make money, guys. Everybody wants to make money off their art. That's the dream, I mean, not for everybody, but it is for me. It's the dream for me. Is blue music? I keep forgetting. I need to pop up my key again. There it is. Okay, yes it is. But I don't know. Like, writing is the only thing that I've done like long enough to like get comfortable doing it monetarily. I don't think if I ever became an artist, I mean, granted, who knows? Like, I'm still working on my art, but if it got to a place where I felt like I could sell it, I don't know if I would. I think my art is more just to support what I'm already currently doing, which is just making games. But, who's to say, man? I change my mind every other couple months, so anything is truly possible. We love an indecisive queen. Wish I was a Nepo baby, that I could just do art, right? I think that all the time. I was like, I feel like rich people don't even know how to use their money, in my opinion. Like, they probably don't, to be honest. Like, do I have any proof behind that? No. Am I biased because I really don't like rich people? Yes. But they don't know what to do with their money. Like, you see these people, like, on Cribs, or, not Cribs, what year are we in? But, like, equivalents to that, where they show off their, like, the Vogue interviews and things like that, and then they have like all this money to just bullshit, just like shit that does not matter, that will not outlive them, that like if I had all the money in the world, if I was a perfect girl, if I was a rich girl, no, if I was that, I just have so many fucking games. Like, I just have a factory of them coming out, and like, that would be the dream. And then I could support so many like independent artists, and then it would just be like this nice lucrative economy going in and out and in and out. And I feel like that's one really smart use of it. Again, biased, but like, that's way smarter than, bust number 500 or whatever. I don't know what rich people buy. Clearly. Also, yes. I I say all the time, they should let me spend their money. They're doing it wrong. Exactly. Look, and here's the sad part is like, yeah, they could do that and then also still have all their money to buy their bullshit. Like, it wouldn't even put a dent. Yacht. Live your fucking dream, Phoenix. Yacht. Okay. Not that I don't like the water. I grew up around the water. I'm from Florida, that kind of thing. But I'm so terrified of cruises, and I'm not necessarily even terrified of drowning. Like, I think everybody's scared of drowning, but like, it's not something that I lose sleep over. I'm more scared of just like the deep sea as like an entity. And the idea of being on a cruise or something and looking around and there's just only water and no land in sight really bothers me. It scares me a lot. So a yacht sounds cool on paper, but I would get no use out of it. Literally, monster soup, literally. I'd just be like, I don't know, a little mushroom. Little mushroom on top of the ramen of the sea. Yum. I was just sitting here thinking about how stupid that was that I just said that. I appreciate you indulging my stupidity. Oh, also, me and my husband, we got stuff to make chocolate covered pretzels with little peppermint pieces on it, and we didn't do it around Christmas because we got tired. But last night we made some, and I grabbed one from the fridge when I went to go get the water. But look how pretty it is. I mean, maybe not on camera too much, but okay. This is, instead of like a makeup palette or something, this is the food I'm gonna eat on stream. Oh, that looked way better. Okay, focusing works. What the hell? Me learning how to use a camera for the first time? Holy shit. I'll show something in a second. Also, I'm sorry about eating on stream. I don't know how ASMR this is gonna be if I actually eat it. Well, it's good though. I always say that I hate eating on stream and that I won't do it. And then I always do it. Like, always. Because the hunger wins out. I can't help it. One of my worst... Okay. This is the worst thing, though. One of the worst streams that I had... It wasn't even a bad stream. I was just eating Burger King on it for, like... like an hour of the stream, and I cannot watch it back. I can't. It fucking makes me so mad. It was like, why did I do that? Why didn't I just go BRB and just scoff down my Whopper and come back? Like, whatever. We make bad decisions here on stream. Also, I'm checking a message because hopefully it's nothing important. It doesn't look important. No. Okay, it's not. Just wanted to make sure. I was gonna say something before the whole pretzel rant. Okay. This is for the VOD purposes. Give me 1 second. For those, I wanted to show off what I got as a late Christmas Eve present to myself. Technically, I got it around my birthday, which was early December, and it didn't arrive until literally Christmas Eve. And I already kind of showed Pinax, but I haven't been able to show them like in their glorious form. And gosh, there's so many. Give me 1 second. I'm collecting them. I'm gonna have to put them all back too, but hey, whatever. Okay, so Pinax here in the chat is an artist that I've had on a couple of my previous games as a background artist for the first two. But they've done some chibi art for me for specifically this game, which is Rectifier in Bloom. And I have a little keychain made of all the characters. So I'm going to show them all off like one by one. Oh god, my yellow skin against his yellow little body. Look how cute he is! This is the male MC. You can choose between male and female. They're angels, so they have like a little third eye. I'm sorry, on the camera it must look so bad, I'm so sorry. With Celine, I'll try harder because she's my baby. So here's Celine. Oh, that was Ray, the male love interest, but this is Celine. There she is. She's so pretty. She's one of my favorites. She was my like PFP for the longest time on my Twitter page. Just adore her to pieces. And then I have all the 7 love interests. If I go to Joy's game page, can I find a link to your work? Yes. Yes. Well, yes, on TNT and Crabs and Cocktails. They should be linked on both, yes. Ah, There's Leor. Little baby. They're so good. You have no idea. Oh, gosh. I, like, didn't cry, but I was definitely didn't shut the fuck up about it, like, all day. My little... I think that Styles is one of my favorites. Why is he so sassy? This is a 50-year-old man. Keychain ASMR. Runs to laptop. And there's little Guppy. He's so cute. I'm gonna cry. Every time I pick one up, I'm like, okay, maybe this one's my favorite. It's like, no, this one's my favorite. I love them all. And there's little Ren. Little Ren. Very detailed design. A little grump as he is. Oh, got it. 3 more. And then there's little Greer, who looks so good in person. It's insane. He's the first one I unpackaged and I was like, oh my god. Ah! I do plan to put these on sale when the time comes. Sometime next year, probably around Otome Jam. Here's Percy and his little bitch ass. I'm sorry. But also, look how fucking cunty he is for no reason. I mean, it's accurate. Like, it's lore accurate, but also, fuck you, dude. Affectionately. Oh, he dropped. It's okay. He was the only one that fell, too. And then last but certainly not least, maybe my favorite, maybe not, who knows, is Emil. A little green little grumpet. He's got little sharp teethies. Lore accurate, I'm crying. Yes. He's a lot. Okay, we finished his route first because I wanted to get it out of the way. We're on Styles's now, which is our old man character here. And he's based off of Sloth. So they're all based off the 7 Sins, and you play as a little angel. And it's pretty comedic for the most part, but like, I mean, he's just a sleepy little guy. He's just tired. He wants to go to bed. He's so mean. But those are that's all the babies. I'm very happy with them. Best purchase I ever made, swear to God. My whole family's like obsessed with them currently, which I think is a testament. Like, my mom started playing Rectifier in Bloom over the weekend, but she's been sick, so her voice is like really just not there. But she played Greer's route, fell in love with him. Oh my gosh. Which, base taste, she can't stand Percy, so my mother is like completely understands how this is supposed to work. Love that for her. And I don't know if we're gonna do like an actual playthrough recording. That was like the original intention, but I think it's kind of more fun to just have us talking about it and stuff. Like, I'll probably have her play all of it with me, like off camera, and then I might do like a little interview with her and ask her about all the guys and things like that. I think that might be a little bit easier to do, all things considered. I keep changing what I plan to do, but it's hard, okay? No offense, but it's hard to work with older people because they don't get how content's supposed to work, okay? My mom's not on YouTube. She don't know shit about nothing, you know, affectionately. Ma'am, Joy has great taste. Exactly, you're number 1! You have peak taste as well. I don't know if he's the best route in Bloom. Like, I'm biased because I wrote him. But, like, I don't want to be biased because I wrote him. But I think she picked a good one to start out with. And then she's playing Emil's currently. We didn't get too far into it. And Emil's is technically my favorite route in Bloom. But, again, biased. Very biased. But they're all bangers, okay? So, at this point, these streams are just an excuse for me to talk about Rectifier and Bloom in my own space. Embrace the... Be free. Exactly. I'm free. Dude, if my little self... do you guys have these moments? Maybe you do. If my little self could see, like, their own characters and stuff, like... Because when I was younger, like, the one thing I wished more than anything was one to finish a story. Have people talk about the story. Have people see it. Make art of it. Like... I'm living my dream. I never thought that was really possible for me in some ways. So, like, being able to have fucking merch, are you joking? Like, it's insane. Speaking of merch, this is my little studio. Not me wearing my merch today. Okay, but my husband made me a little... It's not merch because I'm not selling it, but he made me a very specific t-shirt from Meant to Be Studios, and on the back is a bigger graphic, which is very sweet. It's just great to have a supportive family and things like that. And this is technically from my husband. He bought me all the keychains and stuff for my birthday. But I knew they were coming because I had to specifically order them the way that I wanted them to. And now that they're perfect and pristine, everything I ever wanted. Cute. The pink color is so perfect. I know. Look, if I could have everything pink, I would. If possible, I would. I don't think I'll ever sell the Meant to Be Studio shirts. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. Just not really my thing. But, and every time I put it on, there's this Germa joke, which is like another streamer. If you know, you know. But basically, like, chat will call him an egomaniac. And so my husband calls me an egomaniac every time I put on the shirt he bought me. I'm not an egomaniac. You made something about my work and I'm enjoying it. That's what's supposed to happen. I would love to do like a rectifier shirt. That would kind of be really cute. Just have like the little logo, you know, in different colors. I don't think shirts are too expensive to make, but we'll see. We'll see how the keychains work and then we'll move our way. then we'll see how the rest goes. I have big ambitions. But I would recommend, look, getting keychains, even if you're just going to get it for yourself, I would 1000% recommend just getting them for yourself. There's no shame in that, okay? They're not expensive to get, you know? I got mine off of Vogue Grace. This isn't sponsored, clearly. VOGRACE. And it took just a while to ship, but it was really seamless and easy to do. And I would recommend it. I had another friend who had done merch before and I asked them what they used and that was the answer. So, you know, maybe they're the go-to. Who knows? Maybe there's other options I haven't considered, but you got to just do what works. Is the music audible? It's just turned down, but when it comes on again, has it been able to be heard this whole time? I think it has. One stream I had, I think I did not turn it up at all, and you could basically not hear it. Yeah, okay, good. Thank you so much. I'm making progress here, too. Am I making as much progress as I probably should be making? Who's to say? 31 isn't bad. Hold up. That's not bad. I can live with that. To be fair, Styles is kind of formatted already, so I think that helps. It's mainly just re-highlighting things and moving stuff around. I already told my girl. I think when Rectifire Emblem the update comes out, I would love to play it on stream. I'm kind of weird about playing my own games on stream, but at the same token, I do think that it would just be fun. But only after the update. Because as it is now, like, it's still playable, it's still free, it's still fine. But there's a reason it's getting an update, and it's because it could be so much better. It could just be so much better. Unfortunately, RPG Maker is just not the it's not the optimal engine for making visual novels. Who would have thought? But, you know, like, you can, and, like, it's okay, it still runs, you know, there's no major bugs and stuff, but it could run better. I think the biggest issue is that, and out of all the things, is that audio is the biggest thing that holds it back. Like, it's just really loud, and I don't even have voice acting, thank God. But if I did, it'd be a fucking nightmare. But let this be a lesson to you. Don't really make a huge visual novel without any kind of RPG elements in RPG Maker, because it's kind of pointless to do. Who would have thought? I just wanted to experiment and see. But, you know, live and learn. I don't know why it's hot in here. It was just Christmas. That's supposed to be hot. I even live in an area where it does snow, and it did not snow. Which, I don't really like snow, but I mean, for Christmas, it would have been cute. Lol noted, I actually picked up MZ on sale, and it's a lot of fun. I still do love RPG Maker, but it worked for Lord of Lies, you know, like, because it was primarily an RPG with some visual novel elements. But if you're just making a pure visual novel, it just does not have as much accessibility. And if you need more, you just have to download so many plugins, and you'd have to, like, it just might bloat the code and stuff. It comes with a lot of issues. Plus, some plugins like to clash with each other, which is something you always have to take in consideration, or if they update, things like that. But I still recommend RPG Maker. I've used a lot of it. I have over 1,000 hours in it. Like, it's definitely something I know. But it's just like, for this specific purpose, it wasn't good. I want to make a game for RPG Maker sometime. You should. I think it's just like a fun thing for everybody to do at least once. Now, don't expect it to perform well, if that's something you're concerned about. But if you're just making it for you, for fun, for your friends, I would 100% recommend it. Because it's just cool to be like, I made an RPG. I did. I made a full-fledged RPG. It's almost 10 plus hours. And it's a good time. Very queer, very cute. You know, I really love it. And should I showcase them? I feel like I should. Give me a second. Not me. I've been debating. One second. I'll go into the whole speech once I have them pulled up. Okay, they're one at a time. I mean, I guess that's fine. But you can see Pnax made some for my Lord of Lies cast. Which is wonderful because they just make incredible chibis. I feel like at this point I'm just shilling Pnax. Commission Pnax. But they made, this is my like main character for Lord of Lies, and I would love to get them as keychains because they're all so darn cute. They're all so darn precious. The only thing is I wouldn't really be able to sell them because nobody plays Lord of Lies. But you know what? It's not always about that, okay? Sometimes it's just about having it for yourself, you know? Like, I need this little Charles keychain. It's really important to me. And then I do have a plan in mind for this too. So Charles always has the Hound with him. So I wanted to put the Hound right next to them and then they'd be clipped together. Because they've matched. They go together. Back to back, buddies, forever. And King's is too good. It's always too good every time I see it. Worth every penny, dog. Every single one. And Little Duke. And Duchess. Two more. And Zahir has a big cast. And last but certainly not least, Solana. Precious babies, all of them. I love them very much. Getting the whole set of them will be fun. Why are all my characters so cunty? What the hell? Is it me or is it Pnax? Is it us? Are we the problem? Or are we the solution? Oh, my babies. Yeah, like I said, would love to have them as merch, but I do not think they would sell at all, except for like maybe the 2 people that played them. But hey, it would be fun just to have for myself, you know? Just put under my Rectifier boys. And Celine. There you go. No such thing as too much cunt. Automod if you don't stop. Cunt is important here on this stream. We support it. Automod hates fun. Very queer. But yes, okay, I've done enough shilling of my own games, and specifically Pnax's chibi work of my own games, but these damn keychains have changed my brain chemistry. I'll never be the same now. I will never be normal. We are too far gone. And unfortunately now I'm gonna have to get one of every single character, not every single character, but all my favorite characters I've ever made. Yeah, some of them bitches don't need it. Like, at all. They're good. I'm excited. I've been in the process of, like, mainly just making stuff for the games, like rescripting, adding voice acting to another one of my games. And I'm making technically I'm submitting 2 things for Otome Jam next year, and I'm in the process of like recruiting for my Otome Jam project, because soon is never too soon when it comes to that, to be honest. Like, obviously I can't really work on it until Otome Jam, but I need to get like everything kind of squared away. And the biggest thing right now is I'm still like hyping myself up basically to start writing, because I need like a good couple weeks of being like, hey, you're about to start writing soon and you're going to be writing for a while. Granted, the script is only supposed to probably be under 30k, but that's still like a significant amount, so I want to make sure that I do it right. And I'm excited to get back into writing again, because it's been a minute. The only things I've written were like specifically commission based writing. So, but I'm writing another dating sim, which I'm really excited about. One with my first, and I cannot believe this. This is the saddest thing that has existed. I have written plenty of BL. I have written, what do you call it, Otome. I've written, romance between trans people. Like, I've written pretty much everything. What I haven't written is any, like, Yuri or women. Why is boys love easy? What is the boys love equivalent for women's? If it's just women's love, I mean, girls love that girl. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't written any girls love stuff at all, which is crazy. But, and to be fair, the dating sim that I'm writing isn't purely that, but it is one specific route, like one of the main 3. And I've been really excited about it for forever. And I get to finally do it, and I don't know why we've gone this long without one. It's kind of a shame. But better late than never, I always say. Love women for the win. I'm so hyped. Okay, here's the funny part. Like, I'm bisexual, I'm also polyamorous, but outside of that, like, I'm in a straight monogamous relationship, but we don't have to talk about it. But I've been, like, in relationships with women, and I've never written a story about that, which is, like, you would think. And it's not because I didn't want to. That was never the case. It's just all these other story ideas I had and had committed to, like, from jump, just did not involve women's love anywhere. Like, and I don't know how I gone that long without that. So they were always on the back burner, but soon not the case. And especially, it's going to mean a lot too for Otome Jam. There are 3 main love interests. One is, because you play as Lennon, who is she, her. And then one is he, him, one is they, them, and one is she, her. So, we get the full range. Not really, but you get what I'm saying. We get to have one of each for our love interest, which I'm really excited about. And it's just a very special story to me. So I'm excited. It's kind of a weird one too, because it's like mainly an action story, but it's not an RPG or anything. It's just, there's a lot of action. It's fantasy action romance. And it's called the Strength Project currently, but I don't know if I should just call it Strength or if I should try to give it another name, because it's based off of like tarot cards, because I have an entire anthology dedicated to tarot cards, and this is the first entry of that anthology. So I want to keep Strength in the name because it's about the card, but it's like, I don't know, it's a tough one. I'll figure it out, but like, I'm really excited for it. Oh, so we're gonna be fed. Lovely. Exactly, that's exactly what I said. The story, like, I'll give like a little sneak peek for some of the people that are here, but the crux of the story is that you play as Lennon, and she is the newest like military general in the specific unit that she's a part of, and basically she's super underestimated because she's a woman, even though one of the other generals is also a woman, but that's part of the story. It's okay, it's not a plot hole. Basically she gets like catcalled, and she gets like basically just undermined by most of the male men that are there, and there are women who are drafted in and stuff that there too, but it's specifically because she's a general, not because like she's just in the military. And she is put in charge even though she's brand new, because her higher ups have to leave, and when they do, disaster strikes, and like an entire monster invasion comes and nearly wipes out the entire military unit. But because of her earlier actions when she arrives, and getting close to a specific love interest, they're able to live another day. But basically her superiors are nowhere to be found. They're lost now, and so she has to single-handedly run this entire unit of mostly people who don't respect her, you know, and build a team to save the day. And there's some mysteries and interesting things that happen. But obviously it's a chapter by chapter story as well, so like it'll give you like the crux of like what mainly is going to happen, gets you started on each route, but and then it kind of just ends. But you know, I think it's going to be fun to do sort of like a fan fiction-y thing where, you know, releasing the chapter by chapter like I used to when I was younger. The other thing about it too is like it's still choice based, and the routes basically start on chapter 1 and it goes all the way to about chapter 7 or 8. I'm not exactly sure yet, but depending on my outline, depends how I feel when I get there, but I'm shooting for about 7 or 8 chapters, and the routes kind of just keep extending through each one. So I'm really excited. It's gonna be fun. Hopefully it's gonna be fun. It's a lot of news for me, some familiarities, but some things are really new, and I have such a strong vision for it, and I know exactly what I want it to be, and I know that it has the potential to be something really great and interesting, but like at this point I'm just worried if I can deliver on it, you know? But I think everybody gets that. Everybody gets in their head about it, and we all want our shit to be the best it can be. And isn't that the tea? But I'm excited. It's gonna be fun to script, and I do want it to be choice-based and stuff. I'm still not exactly sure how that's gonna work. I think it's gonna be mostly like dialogue-specific stuff. Maybe I'll have some bad endings, but it's gonna be a little tough if it's by chapter thing. So, you know, still gotta work some kinks out here and there, and I've still got a couple months to do that. But right now I'm kind of just focusing on the visual part of it because I did sketches for them, and you know, reached out to some artists, see who's interested in being a part of this nonsense, you know, that kind of thing. Okay, and then Blue was music. Why do I keep forgetting that? I forget it every single time. Music makes you blue. Maybe that's how I'll remember it sometimes. The music's been pretty pleasant today. I haven't really noticed. I like how you have it color coded. It's helping me a lot, and hopefully it helps the programmer a lot. We even have like a little key that I made earlier in the stream of trying to keep it, and it's close to rainbow order because that's just what I like. Sounds of wings flapping. Add the cawing crows instead of the... Okay. Noted. I was like, what is this? If I do... It's blue, Joy. Blue. Blue for sound effects. Blue for music. We just went over this. It's almost like I should change it. But watch, once I change it, then I'm gonna, like, do it the old way. Did anybody have a favorite, if you celebrated Christmas, did anybody have a favorite, like, Christmas gift that they got this year? I got so many, it's hard to pick a favorite. Obviously, I don't want to do the cop-out thing where it's just like, all of them are my favorite. And I mean, that is true, but also, like, I got these frog slippers that are really fun. My husband kind of went crazy. You know, he does every year. He's a good gift giver. But he got me these little frog slippers. It's so silly. My sister-in-law, she calls them my frog stompers, which I find very funny to call them that. They're like kind of little platforms. They're super insulated and warm. Cute. Oh, I think my favorite was my Sonic the Hedgehog hot pot maker. That's so specific and cute. What the hell? That's so fun. I love like really specific gifts that like most people don't get because like your family just knows you really well and they get you something just like, I know they'll like this very specific thing. Sonic hot pot. That's so cool. Honestly, just making a hot pot from home sounds like that's something I should do. Because it's like I live in a small area, like a small town, so there's not a lot of Korean places, so it'd be cool to just make your own hot pot at home. I mean, we learned how to make sushi for that same reason, because we didn't have a Japanese restaurant for forever. I'm really big at trying to make things at home, though, if I feel like I can. I try. I love to cook, but some things are just easier to just buy somewhere else. But some things are better to make at home, you know? You just have to kind of see. Frog stompers, you must call them that from now on. I do. It kind of reminds me of like the Glorilla song where she's just like stomping on these with my heel toes or whatever she says. It's just like, I feel that, but with my little cutesy frog slippers. With my shell toes? I listen to that song all the time and I still don't know what she's talking about. Yes, it's so cute. It has matching balls. That's adorable. I love that. You must have been hyped when you got it. I also just love giving gifts, so it was really fun to be able to give all my gifts this year, and everybody seemed to really like what I got them. Like my sister-in-law, I have two sisters-in-law, but one of them, she's younger and she loves Hello Kitty, so we got her a lot of Hello Kitty stuff this year. It was just fun. It was a really good Christmas for me. It was just relaxing and got to spend a lot of time with my family. And that's what it's all about. I feel like I'm making pretty good progress through this. It's kind of hard to tell. 42? That's pretty good, guys. I mean, we're halfway through stream now. Usually I stream about 3 hours. But I feel like that's not too bad. I'm mildly surprised. It's probably going to take a couple streams before I really get, you know, this finished. But I figured I'm not trying to rush it, you know. Become the first week, I need to start making a stream schedule because usually I have one, and I had one earlier in this year because I started this year, early this year. But I haven't made one because so once I make one, I feel like if I don't commit to it, that I feel like a personal failure. So right now I'm kind of just committed to like being like the day before being like, oh, I'm going to stream tomorrow. And then I stream. And then, you know, that way I'm not disappointing anyone or myself. So I don't want to like set in stone, like there's no guarantee I'll stream tomorrow. Who's to fucking say? Who knows what will happen? But I want to make a stream schedule probably around New Year's, so then that way I can start picking, like starting on the Otome Jam, not Otome Jam, starting my Hakuoki playthrough. I'm really excited about it. I'm also nervous because like, what if I play it wrong? It's a long game. But it's just gonna be fun to play games for a little bit. But the work streams are nice too. I'll probably do them like once or twice a week. We'll see. I don't even know how many days I'm gonna stream. There's a bunch of stuff to figure out because I like the mornings, but you know, during the weekdays, it's who's to say that people are, you know, they might be at work and they can't watch things like that, you know. So we'll see. We'll just play it by ear for right now. And I really don't like streaming at night, to be honest. Like, sometimes it's convenient, but I just get so tired. I get so tired. By the time 8 o'clock pulls around, I'm like, all right, time to go to bed now. I'm just a granny. Sorry, I was jamming right then. See, I would love to play like Nintendo songs and stuff in the background, but I don't want to get shot by the CEO of Nintendo. They're crazy about stuff like that, man. I'm still... I think I really actually need to get a composer specifically for the stream. Like, get like, I don't know, at least like 10 tracks or something for my stream that I could just cycle between. But no, Nintendo's kind of crazy. Like, I watch videos of people talking about, specifically that they're kind of mean to, like, the people who love their games. Like, they don't really like emulating, which I kind of understand, but then at the same token, it's like, but you're not doing anything about it either. Like, you're not making your older games accessible to people, so what else are they gonna do? But, like, they don't even like Super Smash Bros. Competitions and things like that. And it's like, bro, it's for your game. Like, what's the problem here? It'll be so quiet on that road, and then all of a sudden just chaos. Come on, Ren kneeling? Yeah, okay, so... They don't even release their music on platforms. So sad. It is! Why are you being so stingy? You would think with all that money, it would be able to loosen them up a little. Again. The terminology I use sometimes is sorry. The music does kind of remind me of Nintendo. That's why I was just like, or even like a Final Fantasy background. See, that's the thing. I would play RPGs on stream, and maybe I will, because it's like I've beaten RPGs and stuff like that, but I feel like a lot of my like actually playing games on stream is like trying to figure out what the fuck I'm supposed to do. Not really. I'm gonna be real. I'm a bit of a dumbass. So sometimes, like, if there's even like puzzles or like little mini games in VNs, I struggle, you know, and that's in a visual novel. So like pure mainstream games, it's just I'm not good at it. Okay, I enjoy watching people play games, but I just am not the best at it. There needs to be more people that play visual novels anyway, you know. So listen, we need dumbass representation on stream. Yes, we do. I mean, technically you could just go to Kick and you'd find plenty, but, you know, we need wholesome dumbasses. Me, I'm the dumbass sometimes. Same. That's so me. Lol, I have to have a guide on hand. Exactly. Which, like, what was it? I played Final Fantasy 3, but it was the 3D, like, remaster that's on Steam, because for a while that was the only Final Fantasy that you could play on Steam, and they've changed it since, obviously, but so that's what I played for a while, and like that, to be fair, older games have this thing where like it's not really intuitive sometimes. They just like have these weird arbitrary rules on how you bypass specific things, or rules for boss fights and things like that, and so I was enjoying it, but I would not have enjoyed it if I didn't play it with a fucking guide. I'll tell you that one for free. But hey, I don't think I ever beat that game either, but I played 4, because I got a... I don't know if I should say that, but okay, I emulated on my iPad because I saw a TikTok about it. But I was able to play some older, like, Nintendo DS games, and I also emulated, like, some of the Fire Emblem games. Love Fire Emblem so much. And I actually think I'm pretty okay at the game, though it's... I have to replay levels a lot. Because I have like a permadeath thing that goes on, so like if one of your people dies during it, they won't come back, which I think is the optimal way to play them, but it can be stressful, okay? And I really enjoyed playing it. It was, I think it's Radiant Dawn, it was the one I was playing, or I could tell you exactly which one I was playing. One second. I know it's here somewhere. Path of Radiance. That's what I played. Path of Radiance. Loved it. Loved it so much. I've even gotten like really far into it. Like I might be about halfway through. Such a cool character. I was like kind of, I don't know, in some ways I was really surprised by like how much the story is like very touching, and like the pacing of it is really good. Except one specific aspect of it, and I don't really want to spoil it for anybody who's never seen it, but like I feel like one character is evil, and like I'm not gonna say who it is in case you haven't figured it out, but one character I know is gonna betray me at some point. I just know it. I've got to run, but it was great chatting with y'all and geeking out over merchant game development. Thank you for dropping by, even if it was just for a little bit. I hope you drop by again, and if you don't, just have a wonderful day, you know? Hope to see ya. But Path of Radiance is really fun. I really enjoy it. And I would like to play more Fire Emblem games in the future, but they're like an arm and a leg, as all Nintendo games tend to be. So I emulate and play the older ones. You know? To be fair, some of those are kind of the better games anyway, according to like the fan base and Reddit and wherever. But no, I love playing games, but they're the kind of things that I have to do in my own time, and because I'm not naturally very good at them, I feel like it's a lot more taxing than just, you know, reading a game on stream, so to speak. And all that, even though I still use walkthroughs for visual novels and stuff too. And, I'm kind of in a debate right now of whether I should use a walkthrough for Hakuoki for two reasons. One, I feel like it's a little less authentic if I use a walkthrough for it rather than just playing it and kind of getting my first impression and failing and that kind of thing. But then at the same token, I don't want to waste time, either. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see what happens. But it's like, damn, do I just want to use a walkthrough? Because I don't want to, go through all this shit and then get the bad end for this fucking guy, because of because some of the visual novel choices are just not, again, they're not intuitive. It's hard to know if, it's actually a decent choice or if it's just, something really dumb, I just have to submit more and then this dude will like me or something, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. We'll see. Try not to stress it too much. It ain't that deep. It's never that deep. I might only stream for another 20 minutes because I'm feeling just really kind of sluggish today. I think that's a cue for me to just sit on the couch and watch other streams for today. But at least I got some work done, and really that's what's important. Again, I'm not sure if I'm going to stream tomorrow. I might. I guess we'll see. I would like to, but I mean, I really feel like we've made a lot of progress. I say we. I mean, we've done it, okay? Us together. I couldn't have done it without y'all. I mean, I probably could have, but, just for the sake of the stream. I also had a really fun Sims playthrough that I was doing, and I'm a little nervous to get back into it. I feel like I want to in some ways, but then in other ways, I feel like I don't. I don't know. Maybe because it feels like such a big commitment, because I was doing a legacy challenge thing. I only did one episode of it, and it was a good episode too, and I kind of just dropped it. But I'm scared of commitment, I say, as I go to play a huge ass dating sim, but you know what I mean. I guess I just want it to be entertaining and to do a good job with it. And it's it's kind of a challenge, so I have to do it right. I don't want to fail is what I'm saying. I don't want to fail. I don't want to embarrass myself in front of all my friends. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see. I feel like I said that with everything. We'll see. I don't fucking know. Is 2025 going to be the year that I just chill the fuck out? Stay tuned and see. Spoiler alerts, probably not. I've never been chill a day in my life, and I'm not going to start now. I ate before stream. Stupid. I ate before stream. I had a breakfast, and I'm so hungry. I don't know why. Why am I so hungry? Did I work up that much of an appetite? I'm probably gonna dig in the fridge and find something. I need to remember to actually upload this onto YouTube the second I get off, because last time I didn't do that. Whoops. Do you have any New Year's resolutions? I do, actually. Do you? Mine is, I want to play and finish one indie game every week, starting next year. Obviously, if it's a longer indie game and it might take me a couple weeks, I still want to consistently finish games every week. Or if I'm playing a longer one, I just play, I guess, another smaller one and then try to mark them all off. Because I feel I feel a lot of personal guilt that I make games, and then if people don't play them, I understand why, because everybody's just so caught up in making their own games that they don't have the time to play others. But I don't want to be that person. I feel like that's really unfair, and you kind of have to be the change you want to see in the world, so to speak. And I really And since I won't be really playing indie games on stream anymore, which is something I feel bad about, and it was the purpose of kind of making the stream to begin with, but because I want to expand it and make it a little bit more mainstream, I have to still find a way to play indie games, and so I'm going to just commit myself to playing them on my own, leaving ratings, leaving comments, keeping track of how many I finish in a year, that kind of ideal, because ideally that would be like 52 games at least a year. Some are really small, so if I can finish multiple in a week, that'd be great, but I want to at least do one a week, like one new one each week, so that way I'm not just like, oh, well, I played 2 last week, I don't need to do it this week, that kind of thing. Like, no, it needs to be a new title every week finishing, because a lot of indie games are only a couple hours a piece, things like that, and that can make a huge difference for somebody. I mean, not that they need my review or something, but you get what I'm saying. It's important to make that a priority, and so I'm pretty excited. Plus, it will give me, what do they say? They're like, writers need to read, that kind of thing. So game developers need to play other games. And hopefully mine will improve by playing other people's games, and I'll get more inspiration, and it's just good for everybody. It's good for the heart, the soul, the brain. What about you? Do you have any New Year's resolutions? Expand your indie game vocab or something. I don't know. The only ones I really played are like people that I personally know, friends, people I've worked with, things like that. So I feel like a light obligation to play those games, and it's been a great time each time, and I've become like a fan of their work. But I want to play games of people that I've never met, people I probably will never work with, things like that too. That's just as important. Also catch up on my backlog, because I have a huge playlist on itch, as most people seem to, of just games that I want to play that I haven't dedicated to playing. So, because I even bought a couple games. Like, I've bought, what was it? Trouble Comes Twice on itch, and I've been following that development for a very long time, and then when the game finally came out, I bought it, and then I never played it. So it's like, what was the point then? Granted, they're supported, so nothing lost really, but I think they probably would value me to actually play the game too. You get what I'm saying. But yeah, it's gonna be really fun. I hope to keep I have a notebook for myself of keeping track of every game, and then maybe I'll mark down my thoughts and stuff too. Obviously, I don't necessarily need to share those specific thoughts out loud or publicly or anything like that, but I might just be like, oh, I played this game, and then just keep a log of it for myself, maybe a thread or something on Blue Sky. I don't know. As for me, I kind of want to start making a game next year, but we'll see if my schedule allows. I get it. Hey, there are a lot of good game jams to start out with, and you can really make small games if needed. Obviously, if you ever need a writer, never hesitate to ask me. I'll make time for you, Pnex, don't worry. But no, I think that's a great goal. Obviously, I always encourage people to at least start, because it's you'll be able to learn so much just in the time that you start. And I've met a lot of artists and stuff who's also made their own games this year, so, and I feel like they really enjoyed it. But and I could always give you tips and tricks if you need it. Again, I keep putting myself out there, but it's just it can be tough finding the correct things to do, and or even building a team, or if you're doing it solo. I've done both, so I understand how the fucking thing goes. But I wish you the best of luck of doing that. We have O2A2 Jam, which is it's one asset per each thing, so it's one background, one sprite, one 1,000 words, that kind of thing. So it's if you wanted to make a game, you would technically still hit it, and it would be just a little mini game, that kind of thing. But I've seen some really banger O2A2 projects, so there's a lot you can do with 1,000 words if you're just creative enough, that kind of thing. But up to you, obviously. There's so many. I would just look at a bunch of jams and see which one you're really resonating with. Or make your own. I've done that too. Speaking of, the jam's doing pretty good too. I haven't plugged it in a while, but come January 14th, it'll be a month from when the jam is supposed to end, and we've already got a decent amount of submissions, and 50 people have joined the jam, which was really nice, and that's more than I was kind of expecting when I started out for Poly Jam, and I'm so grateful that I was able to do it. I got a Excuse me, sorry. I got like a tickle in my throat. That should help. I'm gonna play every Polyjam game, trust. I'm so excited. I also plan on playing them. Maybe I'll play one on stream. Maybe I'll play them all on stream. I don't know yet. I think I would like to do that as like a personal thank you to each dev who submitted something for Polyjam, because I think all of them I haven't played yet. So I might do that because I still want to keep like one indie game day a week or something, and then like play very specific games, especially for like stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. But I was looking at all the entries and they look all so cute and wholesome. I'm just like, I'm so ready. I'm so surprised there wasn't a Polyjam before mine. Like, I feel like there's so many types of very specific jam. There's a jam for like, what was it? There's like a jam for something so specific, and I was like, how does this exist before something specifically for polyamory? That's actually kind of insane. Oh, no shade to this. No shade to this at all. It's like a road trip jam, and it's like, that's cute, but it's like, that existed before a Polyjam? This is shocking to me. Hi, Gray. Good morning. How are you? I actually only plan on streaming for like 10 more minutes, but hey, glad you could stop by even for the last 10. We're having a bit of a shorter stream today because I'm feeling EP. I'm feeling tired. But hey, how is the holidays? And not, whoops, you're fine. But how was your holidays for one? Two, what's your New Year's resolution? That's what it was. Oh, and is there a specific gift that you got this year that was like really awesome? I was showcasing some of the keychains that we got and my frog stompers. Wait 1 second. I'll bring them up to the webcam. The new webcam. Ooh. Look, I got little frogs, the bees. Courtesy of the husband. Now they're warming back up my feet. Probably my new office chair. Holy shit. That's so cool. I love my office chair, but it's squeaky. That's a great gift. Also, they're here. They're here. At this point, I might as well just keep them on my desk and show them every stream. I need to like have them prepped up somewhere. I'm gonna die. They're fuck cute. Gotta show the glyph. Gotta show them every time. He's so shiny. He's gonna eat you. New Year's resolution is to listen to new music and for Skyrite to reach over 1,000 downloads. Hell yeah, that's a great resolution. The music one's really good too. He could eat me. Oh no. Wait, great. Maybe this isn't a good place to ask, but I probably should ask. Would you ever want to be a mod on stream? I mean, you don't have to or anything, but I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, because love my mods, but they're not always here for every stream. So eventually I'm going to have to get more. Yeah, I could do that. Thank you. I have to figure out how to do it because it's been a while since I've had it, but when I get the chance, I'll have that happen. But Percy's fight will be needed soon. Okay, yeah. Pink. We are 55 pages into Styles' route, which is way quicker. It's going by almost quicker than the Percy route because it's like almost formatted correctly already, which is a long story. But basically, I just have to change a couple things and make it a little bit closer to the Ren'Py format. But for the most part, it already kind of looks like what it was easier to do, is what I'm saying. It was easier to format. I also put a synopsis early in the stream of Percy's route, and I want to put a synopsis at the top of each one because I want these to be in-game, but this isn't like finalized. It's just what I want to do. I won't be around for every stream, but yeah, totally. Yeah, that's okay. I think most mods, like, you don't have to be. We got Automod at the end of the day, so we'll probably be fine. And I don't have big enough streams right now where it's like it's a requirement, so to speak. Bless you, Diamond. So don't worry, you pretty little head. What else was I doing? Gosh, I'm getting so sleepy. I think I'm just relaxed, which is good. I mean, that's not a bad thing. It's just like, why am I so tired? Wake up! I'm in my sloth era, me and Styles. I was thinking about couple keychains the other day, and I was like, that's gonna be so much joy. You're gonna have to really relax. But it's like, God, how cute would that fucking be, though? Because, okay, here's the thing. I would do that, right? But then I have male and female versions, so I'd have to do it for each, would be its own thing, right? And then. And then I was like, how cute would it be if there was like a couple keychain, but for every dynamic? So that means like red Celine and blue Ray and green Celine, you know, with styles. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, that's too many. But it would be cool, is what I'm saying, you know? I have the too much gene, alright? If I was a rich girl. Na, 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 na. I won't. Sorry. That was a weird noise that I made. Not a place for brawl. Let's calmly discuss it. Okay. I thought it said dismiss it. Oh no! I might be getting sick. I just thought about it. Like, okay, I've been having dizzy spells again, but they're not like they used to be, okay? I think I got an ear infection. So like my head kind of feels like a bowl of water, where if I move too quickly, then I start to get really dizzy, or if I get up really fast, I get really dizzy. And it's about time that it caught up with me because my husband got sick. Literally every person in my family got sick, and I managed to avoid it. And yes, this is the new webcam. But I feel like I'm starting to it's starting to catch up with me. Oh no. Ear infections don't have to hurt, right? They can just be like, you know, it looks gorgeous. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. Also, I have a chocolate covered pretzel that I forgot about. Ruh-roh, please take care of yourself. That's the plan. I think I'll be fine. The good news is, like, it's not like I have a job, so I'm not gonna be missing anything. Oh no, I have to stay in bed. The thing I do 90% of the time anyway. I'm just joking. You get what I'm saying, though. But yeah, I think I'm about to get sick, guys. Wah, wah. But it's all good. I always forget how good pretzels are, and then you eat them and you're like, damn. It's kind of how I feel about like popcorn. Like you forget how good popcorn is until you like start eating it. Maybe it's just me, but that's how I. Because it's like, oh, it's just popcorn. Who cares? It's so real. Your girl loves a pretzel. No, I really am getting sick. My nose started to like, oh no. I don't deserve this. I don't know why, but being sick in your adulthood is so much worse than when you were a kid, in my opinion. Like, when I was a kid and I would get sick, I just kind of be like, okay. Ooh, cool, I get to miss school. No, now it just sucks. I think I'm gonna finish this one little paragraph and then I'm gonna call it. That's probably explaining why I'm tired as well. Your body's like, go to sleep, lay down. If you say so. Welcome home. We got to page 58. That's pretty damn good. Out of 183. I mean, at the same pace, it might take about 3.5 streams. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. I can live with that. I can live with it. So, thank you to everybody that stopped by today and gave me some company. It's been kind of a slow, weird purgatory time right now in between Christmas and the New Year's. Did a lot of yapping, did a lot of work, and also realized I got sick. But, you know, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not bitter. But, again, thank you for stopping by. I hope to do a couple more work streams before the new year, and then hopefully get a stream schedule out, and then start playing Hakuoki, and see how that goes. I think it'd be fun. Yeah, thanks for having us on stream. Love chatting with you as always. Same with you, Phoenix. Trust, I always appreciate it. Whether it's one chat, whether it's 0, doesn't matter. I appreciate everybody just stopping by to hang out and just chill. Nothing wrong with that. I hope you guys were productive, and if you weren't, I hope you continue to still be productive. And I'll see you guys soon. I'm not going to promise when, because I really don't know. But, alright, I'm ending stream. Bye-bye!